Angel. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be?
Angel Reese is going crazy when Caitlin Clark took home yet another significant sporting honor.
Let's look at the big news, which is Caitlin Clark has been named the Associated Press Female Athlete of the Year.
But hey, envy happens to everyone. Dear Angel, it's not that you're jealous that's the problem. Instead, it's that while Clark is hard at work, you're out there having lengthy live streaming on your alleged platform without saying sorry.
Was Angel Reese even in the conversation on this? Because I cannot imagine that she was. Somewhere her and Asia and Cheryl Swoops are all punching air, okay? Be in shambles. That's all we got to say. Be in shambles.
All we can say is that. Be a mess. As if that weren't enough, you then try to alter the narrative by claiming that Clark's success is solely due to white privilege and accusing her supporters of racism. To be honest, you might want to learn from Clark's example and put in a lot of effort. Remain focused and don't blame the outside world for your shortcomings. Instead, let your game speak for itself. But it's clear that self-awareness is not your forte.
Notice that doesn't say female basketball player of the year. Nah, she's female athlete. She beat out, for example, Simone Biles. All right, not to mention the Asia Wilsons and Angel Reeses of the world.
Angel Ree was the queen of taunting, the master of theatrics, and the ultimate finger-wagging ambassador, while Caitlin Clark was out there rewriting history books and carving her place onto the Mount Rushmore of women's basketball. Let's discuss how Angel Ree was too preoccupied with trying out for the next big TikTok moment to pay attention to the memo about what matters in sports skill heritage and, avoiding embarrassing yourself on a global arena.
Angel Reese, you can't beat a big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. And Angel Reese, you have so...
In addition to ruling 2024, Caitlin Clark utterly destroyed it. Let's just say that even basketball purists likely had to double-check their stats because of how outstanding her debut season was. In addition to breaking more than 60 records and leading the league in scoring with nearly 27 points per game, she was the first WNBA player to earn Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year award since the award's introduction in 2019. Did Angel Reed relive her brief moment of fame from a previous championship game, where her antics overshadowed the team's true triumph? Because you may focus on yourself instead of celebrating your team's win. This time, even Cheryl Swoops had to come to terms with it. Clark was transcendent, not just good.
The fact that that's the very first WNBA player to ever win Time Magazine Athlete of the Year is pretty special.
Clark's genius extended beyond statistics, even though she helped the Indiana Fever. Yes, the same team that hadn't qualified for the playoffs since 2016 returned to contention. On their own, her games were a must-watch on TV. Forbes' 30 Under 30 parallels to LeBron James and Michael Jordan demonstrate that her influence extended beyond the court and that her arenas were packed in the meantime. Reese's greatest contribution to basketball culture seems to be her function as a walking, talking lesson on what not to do if you want to be taken seriously. Reese's NCAA championship shenanigans now feel like history, which is almost poetic considering how much Clark's achievements have overshadowed her.
When you literally go on Twitter and you search Rookie of the Year, Angel Reese, it is like everybody talking about why she's not a good basketball player. Yes, okay, a lot of her rebounds are her own rebounds. But she's having a historic season just like Caitlin Clark is, and I think that she deserves a lot more credit than what she's getting.
Can we stop? See, so that right there is part of the problem. Let's stop comparing her to Caitlin Clark. Like, let's not.
I'm saying season. People are doing that. I said she's having a historic season just like Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, but
Caitlin Clark is setting assist records. She's setting rebound rookie records.
They're very different things, and so I think that's where a lot of the hate comes in. If I can be honest, if we really want to resolve Angel receiving as much vitriol as she does, we have to separate the two, because right now they are conjoined. But Angel's game is very, very different than Caitlin's. If we're able to stop tying them together, I think way more people will appreciate the things that Angel does well, as opposed to defending the greatness that is Caitlin Clark and what she does.
We must not deceive ourselves. Angel Reese's time in college was amazing. She averaged 23 points and 15.4 rebounds per game during LSU's championship season, which was a remarkable performance. But the problem is that those figures don't represent her legacy. Instead, it's about that cocky ring pointing, that finger wag, and that well-known jab at Caitlyn. Clark Reese turned what might have been her pivotal moment into a circus performance. The audience has also moved on, which is even worse. No one asked for the truth, and Rhea is the awkward post-credit scene while Clark is the main event. For a day, controversy may be fashionable, but quality never goes away.
Are you kidding me? As Female Athlete of the Year, oh, the wokes will be in shambles.
These two athletes couldn't be more different from one another. Clark lets her games do the talking. She does not need to wave her fingers or act as though they are ringing because her achievements and numbers speak for themselves. It's almost heartbreaking how Reese's viral moment has deteriorated like milk left out in the sun, while Clark's brilliance gets brighter every day. Conversely, Rhea appears to be stuck in a rut, frantically attempting to keep up with theatrics that look more fabricated every day. Well done. Let's now talk about Grace being under strain as Angel Reese was criticizing her. Caitlyn, Clark stayed focused, modest, and delivered performances that astounded the athletic world, whereas Rhea's dedicated more time to trying to establish her brand than to perfecting her profession. It's similar to witnessing someone attempt to furnish a home on a shaky foundation. Ostentatious on the exterior, yet lacking in substance. This one sparked harsh comparisons, memes, and roasts on social media. People enjoy a nice clapback, but not at the price of being genuine and competent. It's clear that the general population no longer supports Reese. Because of his unwavering talent and drive, Clark is respected by everyone. It sounds like a loud, cheesy imitation of Reese's notoriety. But in the end, hollow, and the hits just kept coming. Since Clark earned her accolades for her artistic abilities rather than merely winning them, her supremacy doesn't need to be justified. Devoted supporters of Reese tried their hardest to mount a defense, shouting racial bigotry and unfairness from rooftops, but their arguments disintegrated more quickly than Reese's image. Rookie of the Year for the All-WNBA first team, fourth in MVP voting, and breaking over 60 records in a single season. Fans of Rhea might try to claim that this is biased, but the reality is simple. Not only did he win, but he redefined greatness. Clark is the benchmark. On the other hand, it seems that Rhea is clinging to controversy because she is at a loss.
You're talking about, athlete, you're talking about her college run.
Yeah, the run she had last year.
Her college run
into a rookie year to now, to date.
Yeah.
Yeah, the women's college tournament, I believe,
all the
significant
eyes she brought to the league this year.
Yeah, outperforming the men's.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Let's discuss Clark's rookie season, which was nothing short of amazing. She has masterclass dominance, three-point range, assists that are razor-sharp, court vision, and eyesight that is almost X-ray-like. The best part is that, since women's basketball has never received this much attention, she is using her position to inspire others, especially Black women in sports. For someone who delights on being loud and outspoken, Rhea's been strangely silent about all of this, whereas Caitlyn Clark is a trailblazer both on and off the court. Despite her knowledge that she is not as great as Clark, Rhea's silence now speaks for itself.
Great, not just for her, I think it's great for the league.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody talked about the recognition that she brought to the W this season. So for her to be Time Magazine Athlete of the Year, I think it's really great.
The capacity to improve the game. But let's not act as though Rhea hasn't made an effort to alter the perception. She openly produced her podcast, Angel, which, to be honest, appears less like a real endeavor and more like a desperate attempt to limit the harm. Rhea is struggling to find anything that will keep her name relevant. The problem is that everyone is only thinking about Clark pointing fingers at Reese, so they aren't interested in her podcast or her most current marketing gimmicks. She doesn't need any tricks. However, Reese's legacy is associated with a short-lived viral incident that has already turned into a common online joke. Her performances, modesty, and capacity to improve the game are what will define her legacy.
Has a new weekly podcast called Unapologetically Angel. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be? But she is young. She's only 22. And the reality is the scrutiny that she's been subjected to is inexcusable. It's egregious. It's disgusting.
Even the broader implications of their conflict are instructive. Everyone admires Clark for the shame she has changed in addition to her talent. There are parallels to basketball legends like LeBron James and Jordan in the history of women's basketball. Rhea is unable to strike a balance with a brand that is based on finger-wagging and trash language. The distance between the two is a canyon, not simply a vast one. Additionally, Reese's prominence appears to be waning more quickly than anyone had predicted as Clark's awards keep piling up. But let's be honest, Rhea needs to make a swift shift if she is to save her legacy. The focus needs to go from theatrics to her game. Let's not hold our breath, though. As she works to determine her next course of action, Reese has never been good at subtlety or self-awareness. History is being made by Clark. Clark is the center of attention right now, even if Rhea may have had her moment in the NCAA spotlight. Clark is generational, but Reyes is unquestionably good. Here is the harsh truth, as long as people continue to honor Clark. As the plot clearly moves on without Rhea, she is left struggling to be relevant. Angel Reese's actions may garner media attention, but you won't leave a lasting impression. Now is the moment to pay attention, because you are forced to act as the court jester in Caitlin Clark's realm while she is busy building an empire. You're still riding the wave of a fleeting viral event, but Clark is out there becoming a global icon and elevating women's basketball to previously unheard of heights. Hello,